Well, thanks for joining us here on this special edition of Battleground Ontario on Sun News Live. We're going to have more from the Ontario Liberal Leadership Convention with some in-depth analysis of what's happening on the convention floor. We're joined live right now with a very special guest, David McGuinty, MPP for Ottawa South. Thanks for joining us today, David.
Thanks, Brian. Pleasure to be here.
Well, it's good to talk to you. The first question I have to ask you is simply this. What's your brother going to be doing next?
I guess whatever he wants.
Yeah.
We had a wonderful evening last night. It was very emotional for the family, obviously. We've been involved in this provincial project for now 25 years. And so we're very, very proud of everything Dalton's done. He's not perfect, no premier ever is, but I think he's made a wonderful contribution.
You say a quarter of a century of public life is hard to walk away from. Will we see your brother rear his head somewhere else in the public forum?
I would expect Dalton is the kind of person who's really motivated by making a contribution. That's what's always turned his crank, as they say. He's not really a kind of guy that wants, set out to make a lot of money in his career. He's really very proud of being able to make a contribution while he can.
David, let's talk about the overall impression that you're gaining at this Liberal convention. I was speaking with a couple of people earlier, and we did talk about the fact that, back-to-back majority wins at the provincial level, followed by a minority government, and there's been a few scandals and controversies thrown into the mix. Tough times for the Liberal Party in Ontario. When you see a convention like this where all the parties galvanize, there's energy, there's excitement, there's a new territory opening up here. Is this about rebuilding the party in the eyes of the electorate?
I think it's a combination of things, and I think Dalton had the wisdom to make a really tough decision when he did, which was to step down, to allow this to unfold and take place. There's no doubt there's an awful lot of energy here. There are a lot of people from around the province who are very excited about what's coming. I don't think anybody here is, for example, expecting an election anytime soon. The purpose really is to now reinvigorate, bring in some new leadership, shift it up a bit, bring in some new blood, bring in new volunteers, new donors, new policies, new possibilities. That's what a party has to do from time to time, and that's what we're all about this weekend.
From your perspective as a Liberal politician, you've got to deal with matters that are national. But this is a provincial topic we're talking about today. And Ontario, for a large part of its history, has been the economic centre for Canada. That seems to have switched quite a bit. How can Ontario get back to a place where it used to be, given the times that are currently existing here?
Well, first of all, I would remind viewers that Ontario is still almost half of Canada's GDP, so it's hardly a bit player. I think right now what we're seeing is what we've seen in the last 9 years under Premier McGuinty and his government is the investments that most Western industrialized economies know they have to make. They have to invest in education. We invested in education. We need to look out for each other with healthcare. We've invested in healthcare. We need to make sure we have safe communities, clean drinking water, better air, better environment, switching our energy systems as we change our trajectory over 50 years in terms of our energy sources. A lot of those foundations have been laid. I think now what we're going to be doing is building on it so Ontario can really succeed into the future.
Much of that success is based right here in the GTA, but as I'm sure you know this because you have to come here quite often, traffic and travel around the southern parts of this province is virtually impossible at times. There's lots of talk that this should not just be a mandate for the GTA area, but beyond that into the provincial and the federal area. How much support can Ontario expect for its larger cities, its larger urban centres from the federal government?
Look, every country in the world, including Canada, has its metropolises. Toronto and the GTA is Canada's metropolis. It's got a huge amount of economic activity here, financial services and beyond. And now it really is incumbent on all three orders of government to come together. That's why I remember when I worked with Paul Martin, when he was Minister of Finance, he was so keen to see a new deal crafted for Canadian cities because their revenue-raising power is very restricted. So the whole idea of three orders of government working together is indispensable to making sure that we've got good quality of life. That includes addressing gridlock and transit. If we don't have good quality of life, it gets harder for Canada and its big cities to attract investment and keep the brain power we need to really do well in the future.
David, I appreciate you taking time to speak with us. We'll look forward to talking to you again. Go back and enjoy the rest of the convention.
Thank you. It's been a real pleasure.
All right, you take care.
Take care.
That's David McGuinty, the MP from Ottawa South, and he joined us from the convention.